Hail to the king, baby.
All right, everyone, this is Tim of Online Big Blue, bringing you the best of New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. It's Monday. We got a lot to talk about today. We got to talk about Lorenzo Carter. We got to talk about Falcons Gano. We got to talk about the Giants potentially having or wanting to trade one of these first-round picks that they have this year, per Peter King. Want to do a little housekeeping. Want to give a big shout-out to the Bad Dog for coming on the show yesterday on Sunday stream. Of course, you can see the rebroadcast. He hung in there for the full 2 hours, and we greatly appreciate that. Also, the beta version of the Online Big Blue mobile app has been launched in the Google Play Store. Just type in Online Big Blue and you'll pull up the app. You should be able to see all of our videos, all the podcasts, all the Twitter notifications, and you should get push notifications when a new video is launched. So there's no more relying on the YouTube to let you get notified when an Online Big Blue video comes available. This is the beta version, so it's only got some of the features which will be added on in the next 2 or 3 versions. We just got to make sure the beta version works. At this point in time, people are telling me all the links work, so we got that going on. We have to say goodbye to Lorenzo Carter. Lorenzo Carter, we hardly knew you. 4 years for the Giants. Yeah, I mean, it was interesting. I mean, he had an interesting career. He had, a fairly good rookie season. He tailed off for a couple years, and then, of course, he got hurt. He's moved on and signed with the Atlanta Falcons. He had, 5 sacks in the last 4? Was it 5 sacks in the last 4 games of the season last year? So he seemed to be turning the corner and making a progression into being something that the Giants thought he was going to be after he had, after that rookie season. He came back from the Achilles tendon. It takes a couple times to come back in the Achilles tendons. He did not get a sack in his first 10 games last year, and then he kind of finished with a flurry, and it was 5 sacks in the last 4 games. But evidently that wasn't enough to convince the Giants to bring him back on, any type of deal, or even offer him a contract. Like I said, I'm going to try to trust the Shane on this, which is what we have to do. I'm going to trust the Shane and see where he's going. But like I said, in some ways we are devoiding our roster of talent, and it really does seem like we are making a push to go full into 2023. And speaking of that directly, there has been some rumors and some innuendos that the Giants may be looking to trade one of those picks, or first-round picks, I should say, for assets or another first-round pick in 2023. That news is coming over from Peter King. I mean, it's interesting. Could the Giants, or they are saying that the Giants could be wanting to trade back into the later into the first round, but it looks like Joe Shane has come out before and said the Giants are open for business. So I'm not ruling anything out at this point in time, because some of the things that we've seen them do. I don't want to say they're head scratchers, but they're decisions that you're thinking yourself, well, you know what? They really are building to move on in 2023, and 2022 is pretty much going to be a lost year. I've been saying that since August of last year, that this is going to be a train wreck because of the salary cap. But like I said, it's right now, to me, it would be the best case scenario to get rid of as much as this cap debt that we can, to rebuild through the draft, to try to stay away from high price free agents that are, that I would say at this point in time are going to be more of an anchor and a hindrance on a team. While they may give you an extra win in the W column, but it's not going to offer much in reference to long-term success. Now, I think it's an indication of what we see this year, that the Giants are basically going to, we're not going to, if this roster keeps playing out the way it's playing out, we are not going to be competitive this year, and that's fine. We all knew this was going to be a rebuild year. We all knew that. Anyone that follows football, understands football, or has any type of football acclimate knows you can't devoid your talent or your roster of talent and then still compete. But like I said, this is all for it's sad to say, because it's always been for the greater good for the last 6-7 years. But this is what Shane has been left with. This is the cupboard. The talent cupboard is bare. He's going to have to sign the offense, these low-end offensive linemen who are, may have been in the league for 70, 80 games and have only started 30. I've said it before, they're Cam Fleming type signings. Cam Fleming never had a starting job that he won in this league. He always was, took the job via injury. And these were a lot of these guys outside of Glowinski that the Giants are going to do. They're looking at these guys that are going to have to come in. And like Joe Judge said before, they may be hidden talents. They may be guys that just need the opportunity to play. And honestly, and when you're looking at guys that need the opportunity, it is what it is. Now, a lot of people are going to be all excited, of course, because the Buffalo Bills, what's his name? They released that defensive tackle. They saved themselves $6.1 million, I believe it was, and they I can't remember his name. His name is Starr. I can't remember his last name, but he was with the I remember him being with the Carolina Panthers for a bunch of years. He's kind of had an up and down career in Buffalo. He's a guy that I believe, if I remember correctly, he's only averaged like 18 tackles over the last 3 years, and he started 16 games twice in those 3-year span. He's another guy that the Giants may bring in on a cheap deal because he's familiar with Deshane and he fits the offensive system. He might fit the Wink defensive system because we need a guy that plugs up the middle and kind of does the Dalvin Tomlinson things, even though he does not accumulate the tackles that a Dalvin Tomlinson would. But he's a guy that we may be able to get into the low and cheap deal that we can use, over here in 2022 and be not beyond that and move forward from him on 2023. An interesting thing is we also restructured the contract of Graham Gano-Matic, our best offensive weapon. They created about $1.75 million in cap space this year by converting some of his salary into bonus money. And we have also we actually added some cap hits with his contract into some future years, but it's nothing that's going to be, exorbitant, but it's another sign that Shane is going to have to move things around to make this salary cap work. The contract was only at $2.63 million, and like I said, they moved a lot of that money into signing bonuses and other things to give the Giants more flexibility. And the key word is going to be flexibility with the Giants. Because, like I said, we may be playing guys in certain positions that they've never played before. We may be playing guys that may not be in the league or maybe shouldn't be in the league because of the fact that, like I said, we were a team last year that we couldn't field a 53-man roster because of the salary cap issues. So you have to, and I love people yesterday. Well, you're always so negative. I'm not being negative. I'm being honest. I was honest back in August after free agency when I said we were going to be screwed in 2022, and everyone told me that the cap is a living, breathing thing. You don't understand football. It's a living, breathing thing. Don't love it. It's a living, breathing thing. You don't understand money and finance. Well, it looks like I was the only one that did, because this is where we are. And I said it before, if we didn't make the playoffs in 2021, we were screwed in 2023. So I give Shane all the credit in the world for coming in and doing a monumentally tough job. This is a monumentally tough job that he has inherited with this team. In some ways, like I said, he is devoiding the roster of certain talent and hoping that we're going to find presumptuous talent someplace else. I don't agree with trading back. I mean, he may be trading one of those picks in 2023 because of salary cap reasons. I don't agree with that because I do think there is top 10. Actually, I think in some regards, there's top 5 talent that you can get in the top 10 in this draft. So if you hit on all these picks, you potentially could have, top 5 talent where we're picking right now. And I know we're picking 5 and 7, but I do think there's guys that could have gone anywhere between 1 and 4 that we may be able to grab at 5 and 7. So I don't completely agree with moving out of the draft in 2023 into 2023 with at least one of the picks. I don't know. But like I said, it could be all part of salary cap ramifications. So we got to give the Shane time. We got to give him credit for coming in here into a disastrous situation and kind of hopefully moving the team in the right direction, because I think that's what we need to do. And it's just, like I said, it's just going to be interesting. This whole year is going to be interesting. This whole offseason is going to be interesting. This whole draft is going to be interesting. Like I've said it before, go onto the Google Play Store, find the Online Big Blue app. Just type in Online Big Blue. The app will pull up. You can watch our videos, our podcasts. We have access to the Twitter account. This first release or this first version of the release. You also should get push notifications when something comes up in reference to when one of our videos launch. So hopefully that aspect of the app is working. Also, go take a look at the Online Big Blue website so you can, basically the same information. But you can get the ringtones and downloads for the King of the Almost Sack.
King of the Almost Sack.
And don't forget to look out for us on Tuesday at the 4 p.m. show with the Dahmer. And again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best of New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you like, subscribe. You're reading the big thing, it means that'd be awesome.